people on the ground, right? And we could call them all kind of names, but their position is, we don't like this woman. We do not like her. She raped Haiti, her and her husband, right? She killed Gaddafi, right? That she was the hawk in the Democratic Party, right? She was the hawk. She united with taking our jobs away, doing this and doing all the rest of it. So those people on the ground, yeah, they were white, uneducated if you want, blah, 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 but they knew she wasn't in their interest. So they got together, the Democratic Party, as arrogant, right? And disrespectful as they are, played right past it. That's why I'm saying we got Trump. That's why we got Trump. But we can't allow the Democratic Party, and be clear, y'all, be clear. We may not win this one. And hear me, I'm saying may not. But what's the other side of that? We dialect pigeons.
That's right.
All right? But it's gotta be, as my son Robert used to say, shuffle your kidneys up here. Shuffle your kidneys up here. And we should engage. You know what I mean? We should engage. We should know our city council persons, right? Because every one of them come from a 98.99% black councilmanic district.
That's right.
That's right.
Every one of them. Crowley don't come from it. I don't know where Crespo comes from.
Cesspool.
Right? But if it's Latino, then it's 99% Latino, because white people don't run except in their own communities and do that. So I want us to be clear. When we leave here, that we are clear that the boss is not going to, at least to us, tell us who is going to lead the city council. Y'all with that?
Yeah.
All right. So that wherever you're from, get your council person's name. And listen, they're going to say, you got the votes, right? And all you have to say is, oh, they voted already?
Right.
I thought the voting was January the 3rd.
Right.
How Bill de Blasio was on the thing
Yes, congratulations.
congratulating somebody.
Yeah.
How you do that?
Yeah.
Right? They ain't even had a vote.
Yeah.
The way in which he did it, white man,
Yeah.
he decided. Any of y'all ever hear Johnson?
No.
I never did. And they say one of his claim to fame is in the AIDS Foundation. Well, I tell you what, I had a colleague that worked in the AIDS Foundation, and the contradiction in there was black men who had AIDS were at the bottom of the barrel. I never heard of Corey Johnson. You understand where I'm coming from? So listen. We are going to be very clear, and we want our candidate on New York 12 or Brooklyn 12 or whatever that is, so that I'll cut to the chase. But we're going to come back.
That's right.
We're going to come back and we're going to hit the ground with our council people. And you know where I come from. It's like straight up, brother, you going to vote. See what I mean? Right? Crowley and them dangle stuff. Right? So we got to dangle what we got. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right?
Bring them on.
Y'all know who I'm talking about,
The
right?
next speaker.
Speaker of the city council.
to say that it's so important that we're here at the House of the Lord Church, this historic church. Look on the walls and you see the history of the struggle and the history that this church has been in the leadership of. So we're so pleased that we're here at the House of the Lord Church. You know, someone said it's kind of late. Well, I'm offering myself because no one else was willing to say that they would go all the way. No one else was willing to say that they wouldn't compromise the push for being speaker by accepting a plum chair position of a select committee. No one else was willing to do that. I think that we are deserving of the opportunity to stand on the floor of the chambers and say, there is a black candidate.
That's right.
It's interesting because there's certain people here who, from the time that I was elected 4 years ago, said, why don't you run for speaker?
That's right.
My position was always, I will get behind whoever it is that the body brings forth as their candidate. We have a long way to go because the Black, Latino, and Asian caucus, as you have heard, has 26 members who couldn't come together and couldn't even say, we want a Black or Latino candidate. Couldn't even make that statement. So we need to get the consciousness for these people raised, and where we can't raise this consciousness, we need to get the fire under them and tell them that there are consequences when they don't stand up for our people. Our people are deserving. And I'm here to say that I'm here for a paradigm shift. I'm here to shift the way it has always done, and I'm following in what my predecessor, now Assemblymember Charles Barron, did. Because this is what he did. He told you. He asked the people when he was there, you run, I'll back you. You run, I'll back you. You run, I'll back you. None of them were willing to do that. So when he offered his name himself, there was not even one who was willing to second his self-nomination. We have a long ways to go. We have a long ways to go. I'm offering myself because our children, my grandsons are here, Solomon and Osa are here, my son and his wife are here. They need to know that we're not in this to jockey for positions and get a chair for ourselves. We're in it to say that we're qualified to be the speaker, and we're going to stand on the floor and make you count our votes. Shirley Chisholm gave us the example of what we should do. She went around the country. She knocked on doors. She presented herself and she said, I'm running for president. She did it, and she set that model back then. Here we are in 2017, almost 2018, and we don't have someone who's willing to say, I want to be speaker. I'm going to present myself. If I get 1 vote, 2, 3, whatever I get, I'm going to be on the record to have that done. If we can't get that, then we have not been able to stand on the legacy of the great people who were here before us, who gave their lives, who sacrificed, who said it doesn't matter if you, quote, punish me, and that's the word, unfortunately, that they use. It doesn't matter that you plan to punish me. I'm going to stand up for our people. I'm going to stand up for our dignity. I'm going to stand up to say that this is the way that we should go. So for those of you who don't know, my background is 37 years with the Board of Education. That's right. Come on. And a part of that time, I was the executive assistant to the superintendent, which meant that I was his liaison to the principals in about 25 schools. So I know how to deal with people who are in other equal positions, who have a responsibility that they have to report to me as that person, or that we coordinate and come together. The speaker has a lot of authority.
That's right.
We know they talk about the equity gap in terms of income, jobs, employment, all of that. The person who is the speaker has an opportunity to offer initiatives, to design programs, to help correct the shortages that exist. As a black speaker, I can promise you that I will do much to close that equity gap. I will do much to close that equity gap. The equity gap that exists in housing, in healthcare, in education, and they talk about criminal justice reform. I will make it an issue to talk about our political prisoners. Talk about those persons who have been incarcerated on our behalf for things that people have put to the side and have not put on the table. I can do that because I will be the speaker, and I will create that kind of platform that will allow those issues to come forth.
My God.
I want to be able to say to you, what I'm doing is at your request, at your support, at your insistence, and that I'm willing to go forward to be that servant leader, to serve you, and to lead the city council as your speaker.
Awesome.
Now, what can we
Here
do
we
now?
go. Hold. Here we go. What do we do? Brother, so what do we do next? Where you from?
Bedside.
Where?
Jokin's house.
Joe who?
Jokin's house.
No.
Bedside.
Who's your council person?
I'm so sorry. I'm stuck with Robert Carnegie.
Okay. Tomorrow morning at Carnegie's door, you're there.
Yeah, he live in Putnam and
I don't care where he lives. You're at his door tomorrow morning, knocking on the door, telling him he's going to support. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that, see, minimally, y'all, if it's real, then you got to show. For real now. You know, clapping and, you know, that ain't gonna get it. It's not gonna get it. You heard Inez said that Shirley went through the whole country, right? Well, we can go through these little 5 boroughs, right? And we say to our council people, you are going to support who we want you to because we elected you. Let me tell you something. You know, I mean,
Come on.
power concedes nothing without a demand.
Say that again. That's right.
I mean, nothing. We will say to our council people, we elected you to represent us, not Crowley in Queens. Because we go see Donovan. You know, we'll go see Steph. See, because y'all ain't timid, right? No. And let me tell you, and it's not against the law to lobby your council person for your issue. It ain't against the law. It ain't breaking nothing. It's you. That's your right. You can lobby your council person for your issue.
That's right.
You really can. No matter where he is, in the restaurants, right? When he step out of church, wherever he is, you can lobby him. But if there's no heat, if 3 people go see one of them really upstanding, strong, black, Latino council members, 3, right? They begin to waver. And that's all we need them to do. We need them to waver. We need them to go look at these white men and say, check, the natives are restless. Yes. Right? So then, the vote is January 3rd. All right? 2 days later, win, lose, or draw, we're going to be back here.
Right. Yeah.
I don't hear you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why we're going to be back here. Because whoever the speaker, even if it's Inez, we are going to see Inez. And we are going to say to her, we want land use, we want finance, we want the whip, we want to be the Democratic leader, right? And we want the chief of staff. Right. Y'all hear that? Yes. I see some of y'all is very quiet, so I don't know what that means. Do y'all hear that? Yes. I mean, come on now. you know, we come here and clap. This is a shown up, take up what you clap for. Your pride, your blackness, your whatever. That's what this is, right? That's what we supposed to be doing in here. So, whatever your questions, however you got to deal with it, what you think you don't know, then come on, ask it. And I don't know any of it, but Charles Barron knows all of it. So ask what you don't know, and we know you know it all, brother. I see you everywhere I go. So and I know your question. We want to hear from other people, like that sister with her candle. This one. Imani. Huh? So, Imani's from Atlanta. Nonetheless, the last time I saw her, she and I was working a campaign.
That's right.
So it ain't
all
like
the way from Atlanta,
working the campaign.
That's right.
Right? So, come on, somebody. Question.
Let me just acknowledge a few people while you're thinking about your question. Minister Henry Muhammad from
There he is. There he is. That's right. There he is.
Any questions?
I got a question. Why don't you take this to City Hall,
Take what?
this movement?
No,
I mean before the 3rd. Why don't you have a press conference on the steps
we
and
thought
announce
about
it?
that, having a press conference on the steps of City Hall. We were thinking about doing that tomorrow on Wednesday, but we wanted to drum up more support. So that's in the thinking.
And is it also that we each have to be calling people? So the steps of
Right.
City Hall is to talk to the press, but what we want here is for each one of us to go back, talk and talk and talk and talk and talk to get the ground shaking.
Because we don't want to be on the steps of City Hall by ourselves. You know, people say, why don't you go to City Hall? Oh, I can't make it. I got to go. You know, so we just want to make sure we build the momentum. We were going to announce that, you know, tonight, that tomorrow morning we'll be on the steps of City Hall. But we want to see where you're coming from. Because we got the idea, and we definitely taking it to City Hall.
Sure.
To do the work that we have to do over the next few days, are there 2 or 3 talking points that you want all of us to say so that it's to the council people that we're going to be calling, seeing, running into, whatever?
Yeah. We can
I mean,
talk-
it just seems to make sense if there are just
Right.
2 or 3 things.
One, this is a movement that's going to go beyond the 3rd.
Okay.
So we can have our respect and dignity. 2, it's our turn now to be the city council. We haven't given up on the possibility of loosening up all of those deals that were made. So we're going to put some pressure on for the next 7 days. And 3, we want everybody to be with us because this is a candidate that's going all the way, not cutting any deals, because we have never had a black speaker. It's our turn now, and we'll be there on the 3rd to make that point.
Are there other candidates in the race?
No.
Because only 2, and if you don't get 26, how does that shake out?
No, right now, basically, they say they have all the votes. They say they got 35 votes, and that's the insult. Nobody voted yet. The way they projected it on television, you would have thought the voting took place already.
Right.
The voting doesn't take place till the 3rd. They claim they got commitments over 30 some odd people. We don't know anything. We know now that there are nobody has been voted for, and on the voting will take place on the 3rd. We have a candidate that all the women in the city council should support, all the black people in the city council should support, all the Latino people in the city council support, and if there are any white people of goodwill, they should support it too.
That's right.